Hey guys, Sak here from sakitech, and in today's video, we have One UI 7.0. It is finally here. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to go over all the details, all the new features, all the changes of One UI 7.0. Now first, I do want to go to the settings and scroll down, go to About Phone, and go to Software Information to show you guys that we have 7.0 with Android 15. If I tap this a couple times, you'll see the Android logo, the 15 logo. And then we are going to go back and discover everything that is new with this software update. There is so much going on. So let's start with the control center right here. It has seen a revamp. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to play some music so you can see the music controller in the control center. So let me just go to YouTube Music right here, okay, and tap on play, whatever is playing back there. Now when I pull it down, you can see the music controller and everything else right here. So let's talk about the changes here. Now the first change is you can see the quick toggles have been compacted here. We only have 8 options. However, there is a little slider here. You can hold it and pull it down, and that is going to reveal all the options if you want to quickly access them. That is great. I was not aware of that. So all my options are here if I want to quickly access them. Number 2, you can see we have a volume slider and a brightness slider. Okay, so I can go up and down on the brightness. Okay, and I can also use the volume slider. So let me pause the music and look at this. That's what it's going to look like. Alright, you can see when I go to the brightness slider, it shows the full display so I can get a preview, but with the volume that is not necessary. Okay, so that just makes sense. Let's continue playing the music here. By the way, if I stop playing music and go back to the center, you can see we have this option that says play last song. So this stays here as a placeholder when you're not really playing anything, but if I were to tap on this, it's going to start to play the last song I was playing with the last app, and it's going to appear right there. Okay, so be aware of that. Now the other thing I'm going to show you guys is if I tap on edit right over here, I am able to rearrange these items. So I can take the music player and I can put it right here. Okay, I can take this over here at the bottom and I can put it right over here, and if I tap on done, you can see now there is an option that I have. This might be good for some people because it brings it down so you can access it with one finger. Other thing, if I tap on edit, I can tap on edit right here and I can actually add and remove quick toggle. So if I don't want a quick toggle, as usual, I tap the minus sign, and if I do want a quick toggle, I just tap over here. That's it. And then when I tap on done, let me just take this off too, and when I tap on done, that is going to be the quick toggles when I expand it. Now one more thing, obviously, you can grab and you can reorder them based on your needs. So put the most important toggles right over here. Once you're done, you simply tap on done and you're good to go. And one more thing you probably noticed is if I tap edit on the top, you've got this panel settings. I can tap on the panel settings and I can access this setting right here, which allows me to separately bring down the notifications and the quick panel. So for example, right now it is set to be separate. So when I just do a quick swipe like this, it brings up the notifications. There's nothing over here other than the date and time and do not disturb mode. Okay? But if I want to bring down the quick settings, I would have to do it in this area right here. So from the corner, boom, that's going to bring that up. But if I tap this again, obviously I can go to panel settings and I can have it together. So that way, oops, let's go back. Done. So that way, we get this thing right here. Okay, so that's going to be all up to you when it comes to the quick panel settings. By the way, when you have it set up like this, and then you go to edit, you get a different panel setting options, as you can see. This panel settings is designed for this situation where when you pull down, you have this and you have this, okay? So you have 2 different panel settings for 2 different scenarios. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to say separate. Now you can see the panel settings change. So that's something to be aware of. And that's basically everything in relation to the quick panel. Now let's look at the brand new now bar. So if I go to my settings, first and foremost, I just want to let you know every single setting structure here is the same as One UI 6.0. There's nothing new here in the main menu. It's the same replica of One UI 6.0. However, if you go into lock screen and AOD, you now have a brand new now bar. Now what that is, let me show you what that is. Let me go to the lock screen. Here is the now bar. I can tap this and I can access my music player. But when I'm not looking at the full music player, I have this small now bar at the bottom. Now this area is customizable, and that is what this settings area has to do with. So look at this. First and foremost, I'm going to tap over here. You are able to get live notifications. That means you are able to get a now bar for all these options, okay? Clock, voice recorder, music player, and all that. Now the music is right here. Also modes and routines. Now let me show you what's happening with that. If I go out here, and if I go to my clock, let's go to clock, okay? Here's the clock. I'm going to start a timer. Tap on start, and then I'm going to swipe this up, and you can see this is the usual. I have my timer up here. Now when I go outside to the now bar, look at what happens. I now have 2 items that I can swipe through, as you can see, using a nice animation. And if I tap on this one, it grows to show me more detail. All right? So that's the now bar. And let's just do one more. I want you guys to see everything possible. Voice recorder. Let's just record something right here. Okay? So tap on allow. Now look at this. Now the voice recorder is up there. Now if I go outside, I'm going to have 3 items, as you can see, in my now bar on the lock screen. By the way, if I tap this guy, look at that. I can get this dynamic island-like interface to access my recording. And if I have multiple things, I can swipe through them. Well, in this case, I swiped it away. So when you swipe it away, it's gone. So if you don't want to swipe away and you just want to switch, look at this. All right, you can do the same thing here. This is also basically the now bar, but it's on your home screen. So we do have that brand new now bar menu that is customizable. Oops, let's go over here. There's just so much going on with One UI 7.0. Now one more thing, when we go to the app drawer, we have seen a change. You can see the bar to search is at the bottom. We do have new icons for stock core applications. Calendar, camera, calculator. You can see they have changed. They look nice. You have the clock application right there. So that is great. We do have new apps. Let's tap on Samsung. Here's a bunch of Samsung apps. You can see the apps have changed slightly in some cases. In other cases, like the calculator, dramatically. Of course, you have noticed that we now have a vertical drawer. Now this becomes available when you have the alphabetical sort method. You can also, by the way, do this, okay? You can see the letters. So you have that option, and if I tap this again, and if I tap on sort, and if I go to custom order, I can still get this option right here. That is custom order. I can clean up the pages. Let's tap on apply. So that just makes them nice and even everywhere. But I do like the vertical drawer. The fact that we have the option is now better. So you can choose which one you want. Nice, smooth operation, as you can see. Now one more thing you're going to see is if I look over here, you're going to see we have a brand new battery indicator. So it's a little pill. Inside the pill you have a number. Again, if I go to my settings and if I go over into my battery, I'm able to enable or disable that. So I'm going to tap right over here. We have the show battery percentage. You can have a full pill or a numbered pill. And of course you have this brand new option known as the auto dim screen. It's going to dim the screen even further than what it is dimmed to if the battery falls below 5% to extend your battery life. So we have that option as well, okay? New option. Now let me quickly mention other battery settings. So if I go to the settings and if I go over to the battery, there is also a brand new battery protection modification. So if I enable the battery protection, I have these options. But if I go to maximum, I can change the levels where the maximum goes into effect. I can do 85, 90, 95, as you can see, not in the middle. It has to be one of these guys, okay? So that's a new option as well for people that are into protecting their battery if they're going to keep the phone for a long time. Now, the Smart Select option has changed. So my Smart Select right now is in my edge panels. The edge panels are still here. I'm going to show you what's going on with those guys. But if I pull this in, here's my edge panels. And if I tap on my Smart Select, it just, as usual, glows. And then you select the area that you want to select. Now, everything pops up. All the menu items are fully exposed, as you can see. And if I tap over here, I can access the GIF maker as well. We have the sketch to image, text extraction, download, share, copy, pin, resize. So all that stuff is visually available in my Smart Select. Looks great. I do like it that all my settings are exposed. So that's one thing. Now quickly about the edge panels. Go to the settings, go to display, and go into the edge panels right here. We still have them. Now the problem is going to be when I tap on the panels, you don't have the option at the bottom that says go to the Galaxy Store, so you are no longer able to download panels, okay? If I tap over here, I can reorder, uninstall, but I cannot download. So if you already have existing panels that you have downloaded to your phone, they're still going to be available, okay? And you can re-download them from the Galaxy stores under My Apps. But if you never downloaded this edge panel before, you're not going to be able to download it. Only if you have already downloaded before you made the update. So that's the big deal with the panels. They're still here, but without the ability to download edge panels from the Galaxy Store. Guys, we have some big changes to the camera application. Alright, so let's launch it right over here. This thing right here used to be on the top here under the zoom slider. Okay, so now they took all the modes and they put them at the bottom, and the capture button is right here. Now I will give a quick critique on this design language. I think this shutter button should have been at the bottom because there's no way that I can accidentally touch one of these modes to swipe back and forth. So not a huge deal, but there's a little revamp. But that's not the big thing. The big thing is something I really like, and that's this settings button right here. So if I tap on this one, it expands to give me all the available settings. It was taken from the top and put at the bottom. So also, there is no more settings button that used to be here. So now, when I tap this button, I am able to access these settings right here. Now talking about the settings, we have a new option in here. If I go down, all right, if you go to composition guide, now you have access to grid lines and a level. So previously it was just grid lines. Now it is grid lines, and you also have this level that's going to allow you to better compose your photos. All right, so that is great. And also I'm going to show you guys, if I swipe over to the video, and if I tap this button, and if I tap on the settings, I then go into video related settings. Okay, just something to keep in mind. And also, if I go back to photo, and if I tap on this gun right over here, and if I swipe over, I have this brand new exposure guide that I can use to change the exposure of my photos. Now previously what you had to do was you had to press and hold, okay, lock the focus and exposure, and then you can, as you can see, change the exposure like this, but the focus is locked. Now, without locking the focus in, you can only change the exposure if that is what you want. So that is fantastic, and you can do it in the video mode as well, as you can see. Boom. So that's great as well. These things on the top have been bundled to the corner. That's the flash, that's the stabilization, and that is the area where you pick the size and FPS, the resolution and the frame rate of your videos. Same with photos. If I tap over here, I can change the resolution and other things over here. Now one thing I like is you also have the exposure option right here, okay, to quickly access it. So that's great in the photo mode. That's that. Now let's go back to more. Okay, so this is a brand new presentation of my more options. And look at this. If I tap on edit, I can change the bottom row. So if I want to put something over here, I just go like that. I tap on save, and now you can see the dual rec mode, the night mode, the portrait mode. So you can edit this bar at the bottom to your specifications. And of course, if I go into Pro Photo or Pro Video, it looks different, but we do have this new option here that I like. So all the editable settings under Pro Video are now these buttons that are easily accessible. So I can change the setting right there, then I can tap on the speed of the shutter, then I can go to the focus, I can do manual, center, whatever you need. And with any option, I can tap on the eye here to get details as to what that is, all right? So just something to keep in mind. I can change the white balance, but these options were already here, but I just like the way they're now laid out on the top over here. All right, so that's the camera. And one more thing I'm going to show you guys is, as you know, we have this expert raw application in our camera, this thing right here. When you update to One UI 7.0, you're going to be prompted to update this as well, so you get that new icon. Not only that, you also get the new look. So if I go to my camera, and if I go to more, and if I go to Expert Raw, you can see it gives you the new look that matches the One UI 7.0 look. So everything is nice and cohesive, okay? Just something to keep in mind. Now, some people are wondering about the volume slider. So if I bring that up, you can see it's basically the same as before. The only big change we have is we have slightly more rounded corners, but basically it is the same thing, okay? Now let's talk about the widgets. So you can see we have some brand new widgets. They look nice. So if I pinch the screen and if I go to my widgets, you can see we have all these new options. We have the Smart Suggestions widget. We have various different sizes, 2x1, 2x2, 4x2. Now this one right here, I have it right here. You can see that's the Smart Suggestions. But if I go back into my widgets, let's look at the battery. Okay, so I have battery status circles and also battery status list. And if I go down, calendar is right here. We have the countdown calendars. We got the month calendars. We have the today calendars. So there's so much more breakdown when it comes to the widgets. All right, tap over here. This is the Google Calendar, so we can skip that. Camera. We have the custom camera icon. And then let's see, clock. We have these clock widgets. This is for the alarm. That is for the analog clock. That is for the digital clock. That is for the dual clock. So I like the breakdown, okay? Everything is nice and organized. Device care. We have all these options. Again, everything is rounded and designed slightly better. We have the gallery. Okay, so again, we have the 2x1, 2x2, 4x2 that I can dump onto the main screen to showcase an album or a photo. So all that stuff is still here. And the rest is basically just my app-based widgets. Now, if I swipe over, look at this. If I press and hold, I am able to change the size. I like the way it does it nice and smooth, as you can see. So that is great. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing with the widgets. If I bring in a clock, let's grab an analog clock right here, dump it in the middle. Of course, I can press and hold, go to the settings, and I get these options. We have this new option right here, light and dark mode as usual, okay? But nothing dramatic here as far as the overall widget settings are concerned. Now, in my phone application, when I launch it, you're going to see there's a dot here. That means we have a new option. So if I go over here, go to settings, we now have the brand new call transcript option. So if I tap on this one, basically, if you enable this and somebody calls you, it is going to convert recorded calls into a text transcript. And then you can view the transcript on the recent screen in the phone app, which is great. This is a brand new AI feature. You can see it says more Galaxy AI features. So now you can transcript your calls, and if you forget something, you can go and look at it. So I would just enable this by default. And then with the Galaxy AI settings, there's a slight redesign in the menu, but nothing dramatic, okay? Mostly it is all the same stuff. but we do have the call transcript added to our options. That is great. Check this out, by the way. If I go to my text messages, and if I write something, and if I access my intelligence button, it is now better organized. This is clearly modeled after what they did on iOS. Now, these options were already here, but I do like how they have changed it a little bit. So if I tap on the writing style, I'm able to get a option right in here. It's nice and clean. All right, perfect. So again, let me show that to you one more time. Spelling and grammar, checking your text, boom. All right, so new layout in the keyboard for these AI features. On the lock screen, I'm going to show you something real quick. If I go to the lock screen, you can see my little notifications that usually appeared here are now on the top corner, and I can tap it to expose it, as you can see. So that's great. I like the fact that they are moved to the corner, and this area is available for me to showcase, my wallpaper the way it is set up right now. All right, so that's it. That's the One UI 7.0 changes and features. Of course, if I discover anything more, I'm going to make another video with an update, with an addendum, and I'm going to show you guys everything else that's going on. And also stay tuned for more One UI 7.0 coverage. Also comparisons, a full comparison to One UI 6.0 or 6.1. All right, guys, any questions, comments, or concerns? Drop them down below. Let me know. For now, have a fantastic day.